Now, most of us are aware that JobKeeper is coming to an end on March 31. And I thought it's pertinent for business to consider two key variables in that. One is the cash implication of that, and then the second being the human resource implication of that. And we've got Jenna Paulin today from Now Actually, and I thought it was pertinent because there are some key things that we need to consider for our staff on what happens when JobKeeper comes to the end. So, Jenna, tell us a little bit about some of those considerations that we need to be aware of.
Yeah, so we need to make sure that we're pre-planning. We're not making decisions at the 11th hour, so on the 30th of March, to make sure we're compliant by 31 or 1st of April. We need to prepare. We need to work out what are the resources we need moving forward. Do we need the same number of heads? Do we need to reduce? Do we need to absorb some roles? And once you've determined what you need to do, how are you actually going to execute that? Being on the right side of the law is critical. There's so many small businesses out there, and even large, that make decisions that aren't actually on the right side of the law, and then they pay the consequences moving forward.
I think the difficult part of this is it's about the planning, and so the planning needs to start now. There's circa 6 to 7 weeks by the time we get to March 31, and decisions need to be in place now, whether they're going to make some redundancies, whether they're going to redeploy some staff into other areas in order to manage their business. But then there's also that financial implication where they're no longer going to be getting this subsidy from the government, and how do they best plan that? What have you seen recently in some of those examples of how some clients have started to plan for this?
Yeah, so we've been talking to clients already, and some of them are looking to make some roles redundant. And you can't make someone's role redundant in one day. You've got to go through the right consultation process, which it takes time and preparation. So people are making roles redundant to outsource the specialty and to reduce costs. Some people are reducing the number of full-time staff and making them part-time. And some people are just thinking, these tasks that we're doing today, do we actually need to do moving forward? So you need to make sure, again, it comes back to that word planning. So you're making sure that you're doing the right thing in a timely manner.
And I think that's the consideration that we've seen with our clients and the clients we worked on together, that they have started to plan, they've started to listen, they've started to. It's been a little slow in get going, but they're now starting to consider what they need to do. The financial implication of not receiving this government support is really becoming critical to them, and they're now putting plans in place. Is there anything else that we should consider in relation to JobKeeper and maybe some of the other government supports that's out there as well?
Correct, and that's a really good lead into, yes, there's other things to consider, and one of those things is JobMaker. So even though JobKeeper is ending and you're not getting physical subsidies to employ your current staff, when you're planning for 2021 and the resources moving forward, consider JobMaker. This is a scheme that the government have put in place whereby, as an employer, if you hire a certain individual that ticks a criteria, you're actually going to get a subsidy to support their wage week in, week out for a period of time. So it's about being strategic in your hiring patterns moving forward. So it's not always about reducing the staff. Some businesses have flourished through Corona, and that's been fantastic, but it's about what we can do to make sure that our hires moving forward are going to also support our financial business as well.
I think that's the critical point. There are some other options for businesses. There's plenty of support for businesses out there, and the most critical thing is seek that support. If you need HR support, there's now actually. If you need some financial planning support, there's Square Penny. But go out and seek that support, because it is imperative to help you transition through this period. Jenna, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Damien.